Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and we have quasi breaking news. And it has nothing to do with Wizards of the Coast, and it still is a self inflicted wound. All right, so what do we have? The Red Room, which I'll be honest with you, and it's not an insult to Miguel and his significant other. I didn't know they published it. I had no idea. So the fact that they are actually getting or have been bounced from drive through is a surprise on multiple levels. However, I did know they had a YouTube channel. I've had, I guess, mutual acquaintances suggest that I have them on the channel. And uh, yeah, there are people that are aggressive in their political stances, and I find that Miguel has been a fairly aggressive in his political stances, so it just wasn't a good fit for this channel. So uh, yesterday, apparently he got banned from drive-through. They closed his account for the Red Room, and he posted the communication that he received from drive-through. And I am going to read that because I'm going to. I guess Miguel thinks that this communication makes him look better, and I'm going to tell you it doesn't. But I'm also going to show comments not just from the Red Room's own website, something from James Raggy on this topic. This is going to be all over the interwebs and gaming for a bit. But in any case, the communication, the email starts as Miguel. Yesterday we received a report on the title Men. My team has reviewed this title, and just within the first few pages, the book contravenes our product standards guidelines, which you are most certainly aware of. Okay, and then they link to the product standard. Then they go, this Twitter thread was also brought to our attention. We will go beyond the Twitter thread, folks, don't worry. This is not the first time you have acted in this manner toward us, and your behavior also goes against our publisher conduct guidelines. Again, a policy of which you are well aware. And I'm giggling here because, yes, Miguel is well aware of all this stuff. And let's go on to the hostile marketing, which they highlight and don't just link to. Our policy regarding potentially offensive content, see the product standard guidelines, reported by customers, is to deactivate such titles while they are being reviewed. Publishers who deliberately court controversy by making public declarations or accusations of censorship resulting from this process in order to draw attention to their products will be considered to use hostile marketing. You can get banned for hostile marketing. Okay. And we're going to talk about uh, somebody that we all know about, Wenger, and Wenger has a take on this, and I'll link all this stuff in the show notes, by the way, folks, because there's a lot going on. Miguel, we have tried our best to work with you in the past year, but your stance toward our company and your treatment of our social media administrators has always been aggressive, bordering on abusive. We will not tolerate it any further. We have decided to close your account effective immediately, and we have transferred your remaining account balance, $1,302.72, to you. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. And this accompanied the following tweet from Miguel. Fascist wokists drive through RPG have just closed the Red Room's account. We're out. This is absolutely insane, and it's what happens when the pink-haired freaks have a monopoly. If you support us, the Red Room, please boycott these petty dictators. Now, I understand his stance. I am going to go to the Red Room's page, blog, whatever you want to call it. When they released this game, this is the cover. Okay. Men, a role-playing game with huge balls, posted on 14th de Feb de 2023. I guess it's in it's a site that's originally in Portuguese, so the default tabs are in, I'm guessing, Portuguese. Our Valentine's release is a very unromantic game. Men, a manly RPG for manly men. Get it now on Drive Through RPG while we're still not canceled again. So they released this game knowing it was going to get pulled. That is hostile marketing. They released this game for the sole reason of courting controversy. Therefore, hostile marketing. So there's no surprise that this happened. Okay? No surprise at all. We scroll up a little bit. Reported in one day, bound to be censored. A brief history of Men. Men has been temporarily suspended after a customer reported the title as potentially containing offensive content at drive-through. And we know what happens when products are temporarily suspended, don't we? It took them a day, for fuck's sake. All right, so now I'm sure you're all saying to yourself, what could possibly be the offensive material that is being referred to here? Well, let us go to the videotape. Now, I have not purchased this game. I don't intend to. James Raggy, however, took the hit, so you don't have to. So this game got the publisher's account canceled over at Drive Through RPG. This is James Raggy from his Facebook page. Thank you, James. So I had to see what it was all about. It's still available over at Big Geek Emporium, at least until someone starts complaining to their payment processes or some shit. That could be an issue. And then he links to the product. It is, well, let me quote 1-bit. And hopefully this does not get me demonetized. But hey, we're quoting from a game. All right. Or a parody of a game or whatever. I don't think they call themselves parody. But the more levels you gain, the bigger your dick gets. Women, and this, you know what, read out loud, this sounds worse than reading it in your head. Women do not have dicks and so cannot gain levels. There's already a problem with that.
Yeah, why can't they get like booties? Like
their breasts should, the big ass,
bigger booty bulge.
Yeah, my ass gets big. The more levels you gain, the bigger your dick gets. Women do not have dicks, so they cannot gain levels. That's not quite what they're saying. That your dick gets bigger as you gain levels.
Right.
Why can't women gain levels? Because they don't have dicks. They have nothing to grow. They just gain levels. See, that is bad game design. So not only is it a stupid parody, apparently, I haven't read the whole game, but it is already showing poor game design. So, in fact, women are described in the inventory chapter and are recorded in the items section of your character sheet.
The women are the inventory. Property.
Their property. This is because they are things.
Wonderful.
So then James goes on to talk about it, and then James talks personal experience of, and when he was 10, being gifted some juvenile comic books that were adult themed. I guess if you ever went to a comic book store in the 70s and 80s in Lower Manhattan, you probably saw these on the shelves. So now James ends with, and if, it was just somebody fucking around in the crudest way possible. And that's what Men is, the crude ass thing stuck in the pile of legitimate work. But modern day crude and intentionally politically incorrect, including all the things, yes, all the things, one is told they should not say. Where could one properly review this, quoting the language it uses without getting their account shit canned for doing so? Exactly. And it uses a lot of AI art because, hey, that's a bad thing to do in books too, right? But it's a joke. A novelty game, I believe, released for Valentine's Day, complete with the editor leaving notes yelling at the author, a bizarre fascination with bears, and just a heaping pile of ridiculous shit. So, again, I haven't read it, and I'm not gonna.
It doesn't really entice me. It's kind of disappointing.
Well, yeah.
It's like I always thought that like the gaming geeks, they were always like the smart kids.
Well,
and so you look to smart kids to be like, like get a clue about certain things sometimes.
Well, yeah, but right, see, smart. You're thinking book knowledge, okay?
I guess.
Wisdom does not necessarily come along with book knowledge. All right. Just because you are smart doesn't mean you are wise. Miguel, I'm just going to throw this out there for you. All right. When you deliberately piss in somebody's cornflakes, they are likely going to take away the box of cornflakes and tell you you can't have any more cornflakes. When you deliberately piss on Drive Through RPG, and apparently have a history with them for doing so, and I don't know you on a personal level, I've just seen some of your videos, weren't my type of video to watch, but that's okay. Didn't appeal to me. I didn't even know that you had a publishing arm. Apparently, you put out a lot of material. Looking at your website, there is a ton of releases and a new release uh, coming out. I don't know today. We're not dead yet. St. Cloud released. I'm guessing that on drive through. It's a surreal horror scenario. All right. So you create material, you publish material. You have to be smarter. Okay. You when you actually publish this, the day you publish this on your own website, you expected it to get canceled. You expected it to get pulled, which is the definition of hostile marketing. You expected to do this response. You just didn't think they were going to ban you for it. Now, I think that Wenger has a very good take on this because Wenger is somebody who had used hostile marketing and mentions that in his video today. And obviously, he's had to change his approach to it. Is hostile marketing a technique? Certainly. If the venue that you use your hostile marketing on has told you that your hostile marketing is not welcome because they actually are the ones that suffer from it, and tell you that if you use such a technique, your account can be banned and canceled.
Don't be surprised.
Don't be surprised. Yeah, don't be surprised when it happens. Okay. Now, again, if you go to the Red Room site, and I will share links to all this, except for James's Facebook, because you have to go to the Facebook page yourself. Just look up James. There's an interesting letter written by Grim Jim, which is shared here in part. And Jim's letter makes a good argument. I'm not saying I agree with everything within it, but he certainly makes an argument in good faith. Again, I will link to all of this. Read, listen. Don't get dragged into something and form your opinion based upon angry reactions of a handful of people in the community. Do your own research. Do your own reading. All right. I'm not saying that what drive through did is something that I think is like, oh yeah, all right, great move. But I do think it's not a surprise, and I do think they spelled out what would happen in a situation like this. So to think otherwise is to do yourself a disservice. Do your publishing aim arm a disservice. Do your potential customers, your players of your games, a disservice by removing yourself from the market. Again, nothing here should be a surprise. Nothing. It doesn't. Only surprise I have is that I didn't know the Red Room was publishing, and now you're not going to find stuff. You can go to Big Geek Emporium, but even Miguel mentioned that Big Geek Emporium and Lulu combined do 1/10 of the sales that he was getting on drive-through. Now, can that move? Can that transition to some extent? You're not going to capture what you lost. Is there a solution to this? Yeah, it would be nice to see an actual alternative to drive-through, but there isn't. And when you're playing in their sandbox, you gotta play by their rules, and their rules were very blatant about hostile marketing. Again, you can't repeat this enough. The initial post from the 14th said, we're going to get it now before it gets censored and banned. Come on. Come on. You stepped on it yourself. This was an unforced foul. You ejected yourself from the game. You have no one to blame but yourself, Miguel. That's my opinion. I'm not necessarily agreeing with you getting removed from drive-thru. I'm just saying you knew what was in store. You knew what was going to happen, and you, by your own admission, took that risk.
It wasn't worth it.
I wouldn't see it as worth it.
Yeah.
But Miguel, I wish you luck. I really do. Folks, tonight, 8 p.m., unless something changes, myself and Old Man Grognard, Glenn Hallstrom, join us. We will have fun with the live stream. Be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. I will catch some of you later tonight. Be good.